Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Metropolis Radio. Today, we are talking about the Expendables 4. I know it's been a long time since I've talked about the Expendables 4, but it's also been a long time since there's anything that's really been, that really has come out that's been really worthy of talking about. But we're going to start here with this article from Screen Rant, and that's Sylvester Stallone posts cheeky Expendables 4 video with Jason Statham, and this was on Instagram. And thank God that it's a video, because video is a lot easier to download off of Instagram than fucking pictures. Believe me, I've also done Expendables 4 videos where we've talked about like behind the scenes, and they have been nothing but, and they have been set pictures, and it takes like 30-45 minutes just to download them, because you have to do some like weird shit with Google Chrome to get it to get it to a point where you can like isolate the source code, and then you can load up the individual pictures like manually, and then you can download them. But then you have to make sure that whatever picture you highlight is the very one that you want to download. It's a very, very complicated process. I don't want to get into it. But anyway, let's get further before I tangent off for far too long. Sylvester Stallone posted a cheeky video with Jason Statham from the set of The Expendables 4, suggesting that he's quote-unquote leaving the franchise. Well, yeah, we know that Expendables 4 is going to be his last movie. And keep in mind, guys, this video came out like 3 days ago. So it's not like I'm reporting on this and this came out like 6 months ago. No. It's been known that, Stallone, that Expendables 4 is going to be Stallone's last movie. Sylvester Stallone has posted a cheeky new video from the set of The Expendables 4 with Jason Statham, saying that he's quote-unquote leaving the set to his co-star. Stallone created The Expendables in 2010, starring as the lead character Barney Ross, the head of a mercenary business with a bunch of rough-and-tumble recruits that travel the globe taking on high-stakes missions for big paydays. The series was meant to be a throwback to the action films of the 80s and 90s, bringing back the stars of the era to team up from film to film. Thus far, The Expendables has spawned 2 sequels featuring stars like Jason Statham, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Antonio Banderas, amongst others. The Expendables 3 took a detour, a bad detour at that, bringing in a young cast and opting for a PG-13 rating, which Stallone has gone on to publicly regret, which caused it to be the lowest grossing installment of the franchise. Yes, the lowest grossing installment of the Expendables series was the Expendables 3. The Expendables 3 did not lose money. It just made less money than the first 2 did. It's important to note that, because the Expendables 3 is not a box office bomb like some people claim it was. Now, the 4th entry, the aptly titled Expendables, with the number 4 replacing the A, real clever there, not really, seeks to reunite more of the older stars, including Dolph Lundgren and Randy Couture, while recruiting new yet polished action stars. This includes those from Asian cinema, such as the Raid's Iko Uwais as the main villain. Okay, the Raid was rather popular, and Tony Jaa, which if you're an action movie fan, yeah, you probably know who Tony Jaa is from the Ong Bak movies. Probably his most famous work, but most people who are not fans of action movies have absolutely no idea who Tony Jaa is. And I reckon that the casting of both Iko Uwais and Tony Jaa was more of a budget thing, because Iko Uwais, sure, the Raid was insanely popular when it came out, but like I said, unless if you were a fan of action movies, you had no idea who Tony Jaa was. Also entering the Expendables franchise for the first time is Andy Garcia, who was in, I believe, Oceans 11, 12, and 13 with George Clooney and Brad Pitt. I believe Andy Garcia was in all 3. I could be wrong. Megan Fox, get over yourself. Megan Fox is not a polished action star. The most action-packed movies that she made were the first 2 Transformers movies. Get fucking real. Megan Fox ain't an action movie star. And 50 Cent, also not an action movie star. I believe the only reason 50 Cent is even in the Expendables 4 is because he worked with Sylvester Stallone on the Escape Plan movies, and that was it. So, yeah, author of this article, Paul Sheary, get over yourself calling Megan Fox a fucking action star. In a new video posted by Stallone, which appears to be a quote-unquote old video, the actor cheekily teases Expendables 4 co-star Statham about leaving, saying that the actor will be on his own. And I'm going to go ahead and play the entire video for you right here.
Are you feeling incredibly depressed?
Rather happy. Why?
Because I'm leaving. And you're on your own.
It's going to be a very lonely set. He's deciding to leave us. It's called a mutiny. It's called abandonment.
Yeah, but you're more than capable there,
You're supposed
Captain.
to be sorry and apologetic rather than or happy about it.
Well, as I'm wrapping my teeth around caviar and pheasant, I'll be thinking about you, dear.
While the video feels like it's simply a bit of fun showing the camaraderie between two actors on set, it can't help but also feel a little ominous to the suggestions and theories that say Stallone will not only be leaving the Expendables franchise, but that he'll be killed off in the Expendables 4. And personally, I don't think that is going to be the case. I don't think Barney Ross is going to be killed off in the Expendables 4, but that is another video for another time. In the words of Maz Kanata from Star Wars The Force Awakens, recently, footage was revealed from the latest entry at CinemaCon, as well as a poster, both of which build Stallone as and Sylvester Stallone, which suggests his part is much smaller this time around. It's also been theorized that Stallone would be handing the Expendables over to Statham's character Lee Christmas, as a spin-off film featuring his character was rumored as far back as 2020. Personally, I would love for the Expendables to just end after the fourth movie, and free up all these other guys to go off and do their own thing. I may or may not make this its own video, but Statham is now doing a movie called The Beekeeper that's coming out. Dolph Lundgren is getting back into directing with action movies. I've talked about it. I believe he came back and directed a movie called A Wanted Man or Wanted Man. I don't remember. I know I made a video on it at the time. This was months and months ago. But still, I would rather the Expendables end to have all these guys be freed up to go and do other action movies. Hell, I would love to see a third Mechanic movie with Jason Statham. I really enjoyed the first one. I thought I was going to hate it, but I actually really enjoyed the first movie with Jason Statham, Donald Sutherland, and what's his nuts? Who's the guy that he took under his wing? I can picture him in my mind, but I can't think of his name. I'm looking it up right now. The Mechanic on IMDb. I know you, Ben Foster. That was his name. Yeah, Ben Foster. Yeah, so going back to it, I like the first Mechanic movie with Jason Statham, not Dolph Lundgren. Oh my God, Donald Sutherland, not Dolph Lundgren. God damn it. I'm not editing any of this shit out because I'm too goddamn lazy to do it. Yeah, okay, I'll try it a third time. I like the first Mechanic movie with Jason Statham, Donald Sutherland, and Ben Foster. And then I actually waited years and years to see The Mechanic Resurrection. I did not see The Mechanic Resurrection until 2020 because I thought that the sequel was going to absolutely ruin the first movie for me. But no, I actually think it's a good sequel. That's why I'm saying I would love to see Jason Statham come back and do a third Mechanic movie if be freed up from the Expendables, do the third Mechanic movie, and then move on to other shit. Again, another discussion we can have is the fact that action movies rarely have sequels and why that's a good thing. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole today. But here we go. Back to the article after that very, very long tangent and after all my fuck ups. This latest set video from Stallone doesn't feel like it was posted accidentally, and the stories continue to stack in favor of the legendary actor ending his tenure with the Expendables. Well, yeah, it's been known that the Expendables 4 is going to be Stallone's last movie, because if I'm not mistaken, Stallone is like 75 or 76 years old now. So it's not like he can continue to do action movies well into his 80s. What's it gonna be? He's gonna fire that fucking hand cannon of his and then go my hip. Like Mr. Incredible when he threw the Omnidroid in the lava in the first Incredibles movie and he threw his back out. If you remember that scene at all. It's entirely possible that his Barney Ross character doesn't die, but merely takes a backseat role similar to the Mickey Rourke character in The Expendables. But if the fourth entry wants to take some risks, killing off Ross is a good move. And again, I am going to make a separate video at another time detailing what I think is the more probable theory on what's going to happen to Barney Ross in The Expendables 4. Stallone has been distancing himself from various franchise roles of late, including Rocky and Rambo. Instead, he's been opting for newer roles that fit his age range, such as next year's superhero film, The Samaritan. I almost read that wrong. Such as next year's superhero film, The Samaritan, and the Taylor Sheridan-produced gangster series, Tulsa King. However it plays out, Stallone has at least created a franchise that can continue to pass the torch for decades to come, whether The Expendables 4 acts as his exit or not. Again, I think it would be better end The Expendables at the fourth entry, because I've said this time and time again in every Expendables video, but I will repeat it in case if this is the first Expendables 4 video of mine that you're watching. And they even mentioned this in this article here, is that The Expendables was meant to be an homage to the action movies of the 80s and 90s. Obviously, those guys are not getting any younger. The Arnold Schwarzeneggers, Sylvester Stallones, Dolph Lundgrens of the world, yeah, ain't getting any younger. I mean, I think Dolph Lundgren is now in his mid-60s. Statham is probably the youngest. I think he's in his 50s. Like I said, Stallone is like 75, 76 years old now, but still, if you can't bring these guys back from the 80s and 90s into this series that was meant to be an homage to the action movies of the 80s and 90s, then don't even bother making an Expendables 5. Retire the series, declare it for what it is. It was a nice homage to a bygone era, and everybody is moving on. Jason Statham is moving on to other action movies, maybe doing a third mechanic movie, which I hope and pray to God he does, because like I said, I really like the first two movies, and I really want to see a third. I think a third one could work. I want to see Dolph Lundgren do his own shit again. You know, all these guys need to break off and really do their own shit again, versus going to see the Expendables 10. So very tired. And if any of you guys get that reference, then you are a true Simpsons fan. And guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for doing so. And if you've been following me long enough, you know I'm terrible at ending these videos. So I will just see you guys next time.